my god!
From new species to bull sharks in the golf course, from beautiful clear water ponds to horrific creatures, here are some discoveries that left people speechless. Jason Underwater Statue. If you have a friend who's terrified of statues like these, then this is the perfect spot to surprise them. While this Minnesota lake has a breathtaking view that anyone might enjoy, it has a certain surprise below the surface. A statue of Jason Voorhees is placed under the bottom of this lake. Scuba diver Zachary Nagy placed a Voorhees statue of his own in Arizona's Lake Pleasant. He built the statue himself and placed it in the lake in May 2018. Looks quite terrifying for a moment, but a hilarious prank at the end of the day. Terrifying shark sculpture. This could be the best way to drive out the fear of sharks for once. Sharks aren't as scary or dangerous as they are portrayed in the movies, but since this stereotype remains, this sculpture of a shark would definitely terrify most people. Just the idea of someone new bumping into this man-made shark statue sounds quite terrifying enough. This statue is seemingly made of strong, white materials and is located in Lake Neusch, Switzerland. Although it is a popular diving spot, there are very few details about the origins of this statue assigned. As long as a student does not have a weak heart, this could be the perfect spot to teach someone new to diving. Christ of Abyss. This is another statue of Christ that was turned into a tourist destination spot. The statue actually belongs to the National Museum of Underwater Activities in Ravenna. Christ of Abyss is a 9-foot-tall and 2,000-pound bronze statue that rests 25 feet underwater of the Mediterranean Sea near Genoa, Italy. The statue originally didn't have the arms, which were later found and attached, while the hands had to be redone and replaced. This Christ statue is one of the most visited dive spots in Key Largo. This reef is excellent for both scuba diving and snorkeling, and part of the reef comes out of the water at low tide. It was created by Italian sculptor Guido Galletti. Frustrated sea snake. An Australian scuba diver came face to face with a huge, male olive snake that was partially blind or had a blurry vision. As it was the mating season for this snake, when they are the most active, it mistook the diver for a mate. Now, this could have been a good story to share with the lads, but the diver had to keep the snake at bay, as they are quite venomous, and also, you might never know what's included in their vows. Strange, animal-like creature found. Another strange creature discovered. That's definitely not a mascot or some other costumed character, as it would absorb water and drown. This mysterious creature clearly doesn't seem to be harmful at all, but does look quite weird. It looks huge, hairy, and brown in color, but the video is not clear enough to make out much of it. The recorder of the clip and the location is unknown, so if you know or find anything about this creature, do let us know in the comments. Under pond selfie spot. Finding ponds that have their own Instagram accounts is not very common, let alone with tens of thousands of followers. Located in Indonesia's central Java region, Umbul Ponggok is a small pond measuring just 20 meters by 50 meters. It has the cleanest and clearest water imaginable, as it is continually fed with fresh water, making it the ideal location for underwater selfies, especially in the age of Instagram. Formerly, it was used for bathing and doing laundry, but after a new village head was elected in 2006, things were turned around after seeing the potential. At first, not all of the villagers were convinced until they started seeing results as the pond started getting tourism attention. Now, the locals ensure that these tourists are not disappointed by having all kinds of props like benches and motorcycles designed to make photos stand out. Cars found in drained pond. In 2019, 3 cars, along with a bunch of tires, bottles, Bicycles, and lots of other junk parts were found as the water level of the pond significantly decreased. Upon the discovery of these vehicles, caught the attention of law enforcement agencies to investigate if any of these vehicles were used in a crime. The pond is located in Canada and is nearly 1 mile long body of water straddling the North Providence line. It is held back by a dam that was built in the 1800s. The dam was deemed in danger of failing several years ago, so the city of Providence is having it repaired by blocking most of the water as one of the projects in its capital improvement plan. BRYOZOA. Dangerous or not, I still wouldn't touch it like that. These blobs look like a human brain, but are actually a colony of many individual animals. They were found in Lost Lagoon, a pond just north of a city center containing a population of bryozoans. They live in colonies of genetically identical individuals connected to one another and wrapped around a wad of slime. Every single organism, called zooids, lives together as a colony, as they depend on each other for survival. These individuals can have unique and diverse functions. They have zooids for feeding, excretion, and supplying nutrients to the colony through diverse channels. Tiny jellyfish. These jellyfishes definitely look more like toys. The location of the clip is unknown, but it shows over a dozen jellyfishes moving in a pond. They appear to be in sky blue-like color, and it seems as if the muscle on its bell helps it move forward in the water. Since these are unknown species of jellyfish, not much is known about their origin. Now, judging by the tiny water flow tides, this clip clearly looks to be legit. If you have any details or information about this jellyfish, do share it with us in the comments below. Devil's Bath Pool. Devil's Bath is a green sulfur lake in Waiotapu, New Zealand that looks like a cartoonish radioactive dump site. This neon green pool of stagnant stink water is a natural wonder and is filled with a number of roiling, bubbling geothermal sites. The pool sits in a slight depression, likely created from a massive underground eruption. It is well out of reach of visiting gawkers, but can be seen clearly from above. The bright green water gets its color from deposits of sulfur that rise to the surface and float on top. Its origin is unknown, but it is still the most eye-catching favorite attraction for most tourists. The underwater crucifix. At first, it might seem to have accidentally fallen into the water due to some incident, but it was actually placed intentionally. Just off the shore of Petoskey, Michigan, in approximately 7 meters of water, lies this 3.5 meter tall and 1,850-pound Italian white marble statue of Jesus on the cross. This crucifix was originally made for a 15-year-old boy that died in a farming accident, but it got damaged badly in transit, so the parents refused to keep it. It went up for an insurance sale, and a local dive group purchased and fixed it up before putting it in Lake Michigan as a tribute to the lives lost on the lake in 1962. Divers who found this statue while exploring were so fascinated that they started cleaning it with boat brushes, as you can see in the footage. Algae bloom found on Boston Pond. In 2021, a public health advisory was issued for Jamaica Pond after the presence of a blue-green algae bloom was suspected. Apart from the surface, blue-green algae bloom can also lie below the surface of the water. According to experts, this harmful algae bloom could produce toxins that would make humans and their pets sick. The algae bloom dissipates between 3 weeks to a year until it spontaneously disappears or moves to different parts of a pond or lake, and is testing samples for monitoring. Freshwater jellyfish invade Walden Pond. Could it be that they are migrants or just colonizers who found a new and unclaimed territory? Walden Pond is a Massachusetts pond where residents often go out for a swim, but one of the residents found a mysterious species of jellyfish in the water and managed to take a sample, as you can see in the clip. These species of jellyfish are translucent, and their size is anywhere from a dime to a quarter. Experts and marine biologists in the area believe that these creatures have come from China, being on board some water lilies probably brought to North America by people knowingly or unknowingly. The researchers are still trying to study these new jellyfish creatures to get more answers. Snake slithering on water. Snakes are dangerous creatures, whether they are on water or on land. They can be poisonous and sneaky, which would make any rational person terrified of them. But imagine finding one of these on the surface of a pond, or worse, submerged into it. In the clip, you can see a snake species known as cottonmouths, who tend to swim with most of their bodies above the surface of the water, while water snakes tend to swim with most of their body under the surface, with just their head above the water. So, if you want to wet your feet, or just check the water with your hand, you'd better watch out. Monet Pond. Now this is definitely something. Located in Seki City, the small body of water, just 60 feet long, remarkably resembles the pond in the French painter's famous Water Lily series, which actually depicts the Japanese garden at his home in Giverny, France. Monet Pond is known for its clear water, water lilies, koi fish, and colorful seasonal foliage. It was originally designed as an irrigation reservoir, but after it fell into disrepair during the 1990s, the owner of the neighboring flower park made it the beauty that it is today. The coloration of Monet's pond is so profound, you'd think there must be artificial lighting or dye at play, but it is completely all natural. Weird creature. If you're thinking that it's some plastic trash, you're wrong. In August 2019, while on a cruise, a man spotted this weird jellyfish-like creature in the shallow depths of the water. It looked like a jellyfish in tissue texture, but completely different in its physical structure. It looks to have no particular shape and is organless, although it does look to be transparent. The locals took several pictures and even recorded the sighting of this creature to get answers. Though the clip went viral on the internet, it is yet to get attention from marine biologists. Bull sharks take over golf course. These sharks love this sport so much that they decided to reside there permanently. In 1996, due to severe floods from the nearby river, several sharks are believed to have entered the course of Cardbrook Golf Club in Brisbane, Australia. As the water level significantly dried up, 6 sharks found themselves trapped inside the course's 52-acre lake. Since then, the sharks have reproduced, and currently there are believed to be 12 in the lake. Since the incident, it is now a tourist destination spot where people come just to see those fins in the water, and even celebrate various functions like birthdays and picnics. Discovery of a new species. You never know what you might find in a local pond. Sometimes even discover a new species. In June 2019, researchers from Northeastern's Ocean Genome Legacy Center discovered a new genus and species of shipworm burrowing into the bedrock of the Abaten River in the Philippines. These creatures were named Lithoredo abatanica because litho stands for limestone and abatanica because it was found in the Abaten River. They feed on stone and excrete a sand-like material. This newly discovered creature is still being studied, and the Abaten River is the only known spot where these creatures are found in the world. This image was sent to us by one of our subscribers. Remains of an ancient wooden vessel were discovered in Poland and excavated by an archaeological museum. It is believed to be the biggest sailing ship used on the Vistula River in the pre-industrial era. At first, it was only a myth until the wreckage was found in a small pond which was in a part of the river in the past. The water was drained by pumping out, while the mud was manually removed from the wreckage. The hull was more than 50% intact, made by the trees cut between 1478 and 1481 AD. The size of the boat in that time of history is quite an achievement, considering the lack of technology. Park in a pond. This park turns into a pond every year. Grüner See, literally translates to Green Lake, is a lake in Styria, Austria, located at the foot of the snow-capped Hochschwab Mountains and forests. The clean and clear water comes from the melting snow of these mountains. When the temperature is high, this place gets filled with water, so much that it forms a pond reaching depths of around 12 meters from mid-May to June, and is claimed to look the most beautiful at this time. The lake's depth is variable since its inflow comes from snowmelt. The flora is not abundant because of the rocky bottom of the lake, but some may include snails, water fleas, and different species of trout. During the winter season, the pond is only 1 to 2 meters deep, and the surrounding area is used as a country park. Boeing in river. Boeing 737 became a big commercial hit after it went into service in 1967. But then, what are the 3 jumbo-sized Boeings doing here? Well, it turns out the best-selling commercial jetliner in history was being transported on train to a factory for final assembly, where the fuselages tumbled down a steep bank, straight into the river. The train derailed in Kansas and sent 2 planes into the river, while the one rested on the river embankment just above the water surface. Though quite disastrous, no one was harmed in this unfortunate event. Rain submerges hiking trail. If you have both hiking and diving on your bucket list, then this is the spot for you. Usually, you'd be able to hike on these paths, but heavy rains in the nearby Olo de Agua River created floods that turned the hiking terrain into a little pond. The water level rose to 10 feet during the flood, completely submerging the path underwater for 2 days. This phenomenon has happened at least 3 times in the last 16 years, although it's said to be rare. A high concentration of minerals and calcium carbonates helps to keep the water clear, allowing for a complete view of the beautiful reserve. The area is famed for its ecotourism, as it has quite a picturesque spot for hiking. The Siberian Maldives. It may seem quite an alluring tourist attraction spot with a bright turquoise color, but equally as quiet as dangerous. A lake near the Siberian city of Novosibirsk that boasts turquoise water and white sandy beaches similar to those in the Maldives. But there is nothing natural about its beauty. The gorgeous lake is actually a man-made toxic dump used to dump ash from a nearby coal plant. The water apparently gets its bright turquoise color from its depth and the calcium salts and other metal oxides dissolved in it. Alluring as it may seem at first glance, the local company warns that its ash-dumping pond has a high pH of more than 8, dangerous for an allergic reaction in contact with human skin. This hasn't stopped people from posing for photos on the lake's beaches, and even venturing on the water on paddleboards and inflatable unicorns. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. And if you guys found it interesting, I would much appreciate it if you comment down below about the video and leave the thumbs up. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.